Hi, Laura Poland with the Insurance Ready Dietitian here. Verification of benefits is the most important step in your billing workflow. But how do you ensure MNT services are actually covered before the patient arrives? Should you check benefits for your patients? I've done it both ways, where I've checked benefits or I've had my patient check benefits. The most accurate information is when you provide the benefit check yourself as the provider. However, this can take lots of time. So it is okay to ask and put that onto your patient. You will just want to make sure you guide your patient carefully through the process so they can get as accurate of information as possible. If you have a biller, you do want to confirm if they're checking eligibility and benefits. Now, these are two different verifications, and you as the provider do absolutely want to verify eligibility for the patient. That means checking to make sure their insurance is active and exactly what they told you. So you're checking the member number matches what you have in the system and what the payer has, and the payer tells you that they are actually in fact in network. That is considered an eligibility check. Now, a benefits check is checking to see if that MNT is covered. So I just want to clarify that what I'm talking about mostly today is the benefits check and whether or not you should do that yourself or not. You absolutely should do an eligibility check or have a biller do an eligibility check. So if you were to do the benefits check, before you pick up the phone, you do want to have a few pieces of information ready. You want to have your tax ID, your MPI, and of course the service location. Now, you can do some of these checks in Availity, UHC, Cigna, but a lot of times they don't give you the details as to whether or not 97802, 97803, those MNT CPT codes, if those are covered or not. So many times you're ending up having to call. But in Availity, there is a way to chat with your payer through Availity, and that gets you a way where you can be maybe multitasking while you're on an online chat, and that will give you the details that you're looking for, but you would actually have to chat with a representative. All right, so let's talk a little bit about commercial versus Medicare. Remember, Medicare is very standardized. There's no reason to do a benefits check for a Medicare patient, whether they're Medicare or Medicare Advantage. They are allowed 3 hours initially to see a dietitian. So the first time they've ever seen a dietitian, they get 3 hours in that calendar year. They get 2 hours in subsequent years. So if they've ever seen a dietitian for their diabetes, they will only get 2 hours with you during that year. Now, and remember, this only covers for diabetes diagnoses and CKD or chronic kidney disease that has to be at stage 3 or higher and without dialysis for it to get covered with dietitians. If you want to talk about how we can make that better, it's going to take an act of Congress, and I would love your support and your help. We are working on that on the back end with the MNT Expansion Act. And then make sure for your Medicare patients, you must have a referral in place. They do not ask for it when you do your billing, but you must have it in place if you're ever audited. And that referral must be from an MD or a DO. It cannot be, unfortunately, from a nurse practitioner or a certified or a physician assistant. So it must be an MD or a DO. When it comes to commercial plans outside of Medicare, you know, it can be the wild, wild west. They might cover obesity, GI issues, eating disorders, and they may allow nurse practitioner referrals or physician assistant referrals, or they may not require a referral at all. So you just have to ask these questions when you call to do your benefits check to confirm. And they may limit visits as well, as Medicare limits visits. Now, the Affordable Care Act and prevention, if it's a preventative MNT code, then it will be covered generally speaking, at unlimited visits. However, each commercial payer can also have a self-funded plan that can actually not cover unlimited for prevention, even though the Affordable Care Act, they do have to do that. So anyway, that's why it's always important to get that benefits check and let your patients know that if it's their responsibility, that they should ask these questions, and if they don't, if insurance does not cover it, then they can fight it, but it is on their responsibility to make sure it gets covered, and if it's not covered, then you will bill the patient. All right, one final little thing is a pro tip. Always ask if it's a self-funded plan when you're doing that benefits check, for the reasons I just stated with the commercial plans. All right, well, happy benefits checking, everyone. I'd love to hear what you plan to do. Will you be calling yourself, or will you have your patients call? Let me know.